Many of you have already wished Ken and I a happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Which the actual date is 17th September. Okay, and as you do at the start of a new year, well, many of us do, that is, or at the time of celebrating a particular birthday, such as 30s, turning 30, turning 40, 50 even, we tend to see these moments kind of like watershed moment, meaning it's a time in our lives when we take certain key decisions with the aim to change course. One may decide to do away with a few things, practices, didn't work out so well in the past year or decade, and seek to embrace more of what did. My suggestion here is, why not use the time of our wedding anniversary in a similar vein? Hi, and welcome to Come Away With Me, the Marriage Edict. Right, how about viewing the time of your wedding anniversary through a similar lens? Yes, it's a time of celebration, but why not use it as a time to commit to remove from your marriage that which is not working? Because with that commitment, you are stating together your refusal to drag into the new marital year that which together you have identified as unnecessary baggage. And please, together. This decision has to be taken together. It's really, really important. That's a conversation both of you equally involved in. You want to remove, for example, that source of frequent arguments, unforgiveness, possibly financial inefficiency, indecisiveness, or, certainly many couples have issues around having this coordinated response to child or children or to in-laws or friends, that sort of thing. That point which pulls you both in different directions, that which brings out the I in the relationship and not the team as it should be. And in another installment, yes, we can talk about, where is me? I'll get lost in this relationship. Where am I? That sort of thing. Because sometimes people will feel as if, oh my gosh, I'm overshadowed by the relationship and I've lost my sense of self. But we can talk a little bit more about that in another time. But just for now, let's focus on this declutter exercise. So, why not work together on finding new ways of approaching troublesome matters? Because part of being married is that you have to marry your approaches to how you do life together. So it works better for both and not just for one. A word of caution though. Try not to tackle too many troublesome matters at once. Identify one, or two maybe. Depending on the magnitude of it, obviously. Try not to tackle one, as I said before, no more than two. Taking on too many at once may become overwhelming. And you know what? You don't want to overshadow what is amazing about your marriage, because it may hurt your relationship more than be of help. So iron out one crinkle at a time. Eventually, you'll see the amazing progress you have made together and be well on your way to marrying your lives. Yeah. Become one unit, become one flesh, as it should be. Another word of caution as you undertake this removal of the cobwebs process is approach it prayerfully. And this would be a no-brainer for most people who are, people of faith. But just to reiterate, really, that there is no limit to the number of sit-down talks together which are geared at arriving at what and how to do this. Neither should there be any limits to the number of times to sit down as individuals, but just or even more important is that time to pray together. When you pray together, you are sending a strong message to your spouse. You're saying, hon, There's no blame here. It's not about you, it's about us. But guess what? It's an even stronger signal being sent, because you're saying we are both serious about this union. And so we are so serious, we're taking it to our Heavenly Father. And I call him the fixer. You probably have another name for him. Yeah, he's the fixer. I mean, whom he's put together, let no man put asunder. Let no issue, no, societal craziness and all these different voices and vices and layers and all of that, let them not separate you. Take it to the fixer. You're sending a very profound message to each other to say, you know what, I take what we have seriously. And so together we're going to fight this on our knees and involve our Heavenly Father. Try not to use words such as my, me, It's one thing to make your spouse feel good or not to come across as placing blame, but it is equally unhealthy to internalize that feeling of blame. To blame yourself, no. You will die a slow death and be unhappy in the marriage for years and not really enjoy to its fullest your union. You could start your conversation in the bath. Yes, of course. Why not? When you're both disarmed or away from home on a weekend, somewhere totally non-threatening. Start with, for example, hon, what has been working well for us? Maybe you're washing dishes together or you're folding the laundry. Whatever it is, you're probably just holding hands, walking along, going, on your way to wherever. Yeah, just what has been working well for us? And have a little chat about it. Don't forget to give your partner time to think about it, because if you hadn't planned the conversation, it's quite possible that you would be spurring this on the person, you know what I mean? So you need to give the person time to probably think. Yeah, because you're probably caught off guard. So be mindful. You're either going to set aside this time intentionally, or if you be careful if you're going to spur this on the person. Now, having arrived at what's been working well for both, it's really important that you conclude together if you want to continue holding on to what's working well, if you want to continue incorporating what's been working well. You know why? Because, certainly for Ken and myself, I may be making sacrifices to make him happy, which doesn't necessarily make me happy, but it's working well, and he's of the impression that it's working well, not knowing that I'm dying inside. And of course, the other is true. He could be there making all sorts of sacrifices to make me happy, me not realizing that it's not really what's making him happy, but it's just doing it for me. And sacrifices are good in a relationship, absolutely. But it's really important that we're able to talk about this and to say meet halfway and give and take, you know what I mean? So together you need to say whether or not, if what's working well, you want to continue with them. Starting on a positive note is so important, because that's what you're doing here. What's been working well for us, that's a positive note. And what it does is it should be a bit of an encouragement to both of you, a reminder that you have something special going on. And remember, what has worked well could be from anything, your finances, how you manage your money together, to physical, spiritual, relational, whatever area it may fall into. Explore it. Okay? Yeah, and then you could move on to what areas did not work for us and why. And ask that why question quite a few times. I said if you ask 5 whys, then you should get to the meat of the matter, to the core, to the bone, as to why exactly that has happened, why we've seen this outcome, and how could we approach that differently. And finally, in this bit as to what areas did not work for us, finally end with, do we want to discard this? Just close the door on it? Do we want to just omit it from our relationship? Again, that's a decision you need to take together. And the final bit I'm thinking of is there anything new we want to add? Is there anything, as we start our new marital year together, is there anything new, hon, that you think we could incorporate? Or any suggestions? You could make, you could bring to the table, and you explore it together. Shall I just say, marriage is there to really, really enjoy. I've heard of people who've done their 50 years and their 60 years and more. And it's absolutely quite possible for each and every one of us. Let's just do this together. Yep. Okay. The marriage edict.